The Veteran Tech Guide here. Today we have a resume that we're giving some advice on. The resume belongs to a veteran who has the skills from his time in the military, but now is trying to use those skills and translate them over to the civilian world so that he can land a pretty good job here. So I'm going to go ahead and let you see the resume. Go ahead and pause to read. All right, so I'm going to speak on the resume from an ATS standpoint and then give some feedback that I think would be pretty helpful. So just starting off, the resume is a bit busy. You have a lot going on. For example, for an overview, key accomplishments, professional experience, and just the expertise and industrial or industry experience, it seems to kind of all mesh together, right? And if you're having an ATS system read this, it's likely that they will pick up on it. Maybe for smaller institutions or organizations, if someone is manually reading this, it might just seem a little bit too busy. Now, with that said, when it comes down to the bolding of the resume itself, if it's being read by an ATS system, that's really not going to matter because they're just looking at the words. The bolding is not going to be shown or be noticed in there. So that's just one thing to capture in the overview. I think your first sentence here is United States Marine Corps veteran. Now, I have said this before to myself, to my wife, to just family, that I feel like the day that I got a bit closer to transitioning out of the military is when I didn't have to put anything on my resume that had to do with the military. I would say that instead of United States Marine Corps veteran, you would just put finance professional, because I think that that puts a strong foundation that you know what's going on in finance. You have the experience that's going on in finance, and you have the experience to back it up, essentially. Another thing here is that if we're looking at your professional experience, all of your experience should be in chronological order. So, for instance, your Grandstone investment sales, I believe that's what you're doing currently. And then if you look down, your Rutgers Veterans House, that's also what you're doing currently. But in between that, you have your premium merchant funding. That should be organized with the latest being at the very top. And if you're doing both of those things currently, both of those should be at the very top. I imagine that you probably move that up, the premium merchant funding. You probably move that up to get that closer to somebody's eyes, which is fine if it's someone that's manually seeing this, but I think this could kind of conflict with the ATS process there. In addition, if we are looking a little bit lower, it's like you're going into finance, right? And a resume should be tailored to that specific job, right? And if you're trying to get into finance, that busser experience may not be relevant to show here on your resume because it really has nothing to do with the job. Yes, it has skills, but maybe they're not skills that are required for that particular job here. Let's see here. Department of Defense, United States Marine Corps. You got basic information there for the details that capture where you were located. And it looks like you were a financial technician.